I'm going to share with you the steps you need to take to build the ideal succession plan for your business. So if you clicked on this video, you're asking yourself how to do succession planning, and you may not know where to begin. So today I'm going to talk about why business owners don't plan, the problems they face when it comes to planning, and 5 simple steps you can take to walk yourself through a very simple and easy method to help you build your ideal succession plan. I'm Bill Smith, and I'm your guide today. And I'm also the CEO of W.A. Smith Financial Group. I've authored 2 books, and I'm also the host of a network TV show on retirement and finance when it comes to money. So enough on that, let's jump in. All right, so first let's start with the basic, simple, clinical definition of succession planning, which is planning for the disposition of your business, meaning who's going to own or run your business at death, retirement, or disability. That's simple. So why don't more business owners have a succession plan? And I think a lot of them have it in their head. And as a small business owner myself, I can relate to everything that you might be thinking about when it comes to the concerns you have. But the first thing you need to do, and this is so important, is I want you to dream big. I want you to think about the ideal succession. What is the ideal your business look like someday? And so I would tell everybody to put the same amount of effort into thinking about succession as you do in building and growing your business. And if more people did that, because think about it, the blood, the sweat, the tears that have gone into all of your hard work, and that valuation, that value of that company is all wrapped up in this private held company, and most likely that's your largest asset on your financial statement. So having a good succession plan and putting the energy into that will allow you to unlock that value, not only for you while living, it'll give your team confidence, but it'll also allow you to retain that value for yourself, your family, and see the business continue for the benefit of your employees, your team, and your clients. So, why don't more people do it? Well, it really boils down to they just don't plan. And they also believe that they don't have the time. They don't spend the time. They don't invest the time. I want you to remember that time is the enemy of choice. And the less time you have, the less choice you have. So you all have heard of the fire sale, right? The person or the horror story you heard about where the family member or the heir had to sell the business at pennies on the dollar because they had to, whether to pay the taxes, to lack of expertise, debt, run the gamut, lack of competence. I mean, we could go on and on and on and on as to why the fire sale happens. So I think for most of you, for all the time and effort you spent and put into your business, I think you want to see your business continue. So we have developed what I think are pretty solid 5 steps that will help walk you through the steps that you guys need to take to be able to build a really solid succession plan. Now, maybe you've seen me on this channel talk about other things in other formats, but today is an educational format. So I'm going to jump up to the whiteboard here, kind of old school grease board style, and we're going to walk you through these 5 steps that you'll be able to take away and really help build, or at least start building, the framework for a solid succession plan. Okay, like I said, I'm going to hop up to the grease board. So here we are. You want to start again with the dream. Dream big. What does the ideal succession look like? Now, 5 steps. Number 1, let's define our goals. What does that mean? A lot of people have asked, well, seems pretty simple. Well, let's break that down a little bit. There's about 4 or 5 things that I think are critical here. Number 1, people say, well, I want to make sure my clients are taken care of. I want to make sure my staff, my team, my employees are taken care of. Maybe there's a specific family member that you want to see take over the business. Maybe you have that individual employee that you're not sure is capable of taking over the business, but you would like to see them take over the business. You need to build a succession plan. The sooner you do it, the better off you are. At the highest level, the third component of goals is will you sell internally or externally? And I think that kind of breaks down to the financial component of it, right? What are you wanting to get out of the succession plan? Do you want to maximize the sale? Do you want to get the most for the business? Or are you okay with a little bit of less to be able to sell internally or to a family member to make sure that legacy lives on, that business lives on beyond you? Now, when you're doing these goals, I want you to think about 3 things. What do I want to have happen when I retire, when I die, and if I become disabled? Because some business owners have a different answer for each one of those things. Meaning, if I die, I want this to happen. And I retire, I want this to happen. You may want to work a little bit. You may never want to quit working in the business, but you want to take some chips off the table. Your largest asset is probably the value of your business. That being said, I think the financial component is a big piece. What is your goal? Walk through all the goals. Write them all down. Everything you would love to see in a plan. Number 2, we need to build a team. You need to have a CPA. You need to have an attorney. You need to have a financial advisor and a banker. In that team, they all need to be on the same page. So there needs to be a quarterback. My suggestion is you nominate a quarterback. Either that is you or maybe it's the financial advisor. I can tell you I've played quarterback on many teams. Jerry Massasak, our CPA here at the firm, has played quarterback. No matter who you have, but you should have a quarterback making sure everything is together and everybody's on the same page. All right, number 3, and this is a big one, and this is due diligence. This is where we take our goals of what we'd like to see happen. Now we have our rock star team. The next step is we need to do due diligence. Now, I thought of a lot of different words to use on that, and I think that one fit best. And so there's a lot of components to this, and I'm just going to kind of fire through them. When you go through due diligence, and again, this is where the team's important. We have to prepare the company. What does that mean? Maybe that's adjusting entries in the financial statement, the balance sheet. We need to address accounting, maybe issues, or getting the business sale ready from an accounting perspective. Maybe it's an inventory perspective, maybe it's debt. But there is what I would call a preparation phase that needs to happen. Now, that also encompasses the legal side of it, compliance. There's a number of things that we have to get the business, in your case, your business needs to get what we call deal ready, meaning prepare it for either a sale internally or externally based on your terms and goals. We don't want the fire sale. Let's build a plan. All right, valuation is an important step of this because a lot of people have an idea in their mind what you want for your business, but the question is it really worth that? This is where your professional team will help you be able to value your business, and that could be There's a number of formulas to value your business. That's for another video, but certainly right now, valuation is a critical component of it, and you need to be okay with that valuation. And how will that tie into your goals? Are you okay with that valuation? Does it fit in financially? What about your estate plan? When you think of due diligence, we also think about who is the best fit buyer or successor. Maybe it's not the family member. Maybe it's not the internal employee. They need to be competent. They need to be aware. They need to have the management acumen, if you will, to be able to run that company at the highest level when you're gone. We also need to start working with our staff during this phase and making sure that we have kind of that next generation team in place so that the successor, when they come along, they know that those boxes are checked and they have that confidence to be able to invest the money because you have the team in place for that. So building that team, and again, this is part of due diligence. I mentioned taxes. This is so important because depending on how you sell and how we structure this deal, the due diligence is a really important part here. But again, your team will walk you through this, making sure that you understand the tax consequences of whether you go one version or another version of how you sell the company. All right, now that we've identified all of the key components in due diligence, and I may have missed one or two here and there, but the big picture, we've kind of covered that from a due diligence standpoint. Now it's time to build the plan. Step number 4. Building the plan is simply taking all of the things that we've discovered, all of the people on the team, and now we're going to co-create the plan. We're going to reduce it to a document, to a piece of paper. And we want to make sure that when we build the plan, there's some key components to it. And number 1, there needs to be a timeline. What is the timeline involved? When will this happen by? When will each step of this plan happen by and by who? What is the strategy? How will it happen? How will it be financed? What will the funding mechanisms be? Will there be a bank involved? How will that tie in? How will you get collateral? How will you protect that? So there's a number of things that you need to think about along with when building the plan. There'll be agreements. There could be funding mechanisms, investment strategy along the way. And what's really important here, and this is what I want you to take away from this section, is when you build your plan, it shouldn't be ironclad where there's no flexibility. You need to have flexibility in this plan, because if your ideal situation that you dreamed of having, all of a sudden maybe your successor gets sick or dies. Maybe something happens to this other company that was going to buy you. Maybe you just don't even want to be associated with that. We need to make sure we build some protections in from a flexibility perspective that further protects the value of your business at the end of the day. I talked about funding, and then last but not least, your life will unfold. And as your life unfolds, your plan evolves. So evolve is simply a matter of really just updating it. Have things changed. And tax laws change, things change. And so the plan should have that flexibility to be able to evolve with time and adapt with certain circumstances that could come along. Well, I said it was simple, maybe not as simple as you thought. And the reality is I could probably do a short video on each and every one of these topics. But this is a high-level look today. I hope you'll take these 5 concepts and begin the process of building a succession plan for you, your business, and your family. For more great content like this, I want you to drop the information you want to know about. Maybe you want to learn and have me dive deeper in any one of these specific areas. Let me know. Send us your questions. Make sure you subscribe to our channel. We have a ton of great videos I don't want you to miss. And I also want you to check out Jerry Massasak, our CPA. If you own a business, we have a ton of awesome tax resources right here on this channel. Thanks for joining us. See you soon.